Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 498th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. As you might notice, there's no intro music today, and that's because after we've had a look at both teams' armies, I'm going to take you back 2,000 years to a Roman mystery that hasn't been solved to this day. And I hope you'll find it quite interesting. As I say, it's going back 2,000 years, and a lot of people have tried to solve this mystery, but nobody has yet. Should be interesting for you to listen to. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Conan. Now, Conan's got 7 infantry, 7 archers, and 6 cavalry. Okay, 7 infantry, 7 archers, and 6 cavalry. If we have a look here, you can see that he's got an eagle unit, but if you look closely, you'll see it's an early legionary first cohort. So that's a unit with not very much defense, so he needs to keep that unit out of the battle for as long as he can, just so that it can still give a morale bonus to his troops, but it won't last very long against urban cohorts. Plus he's got an infantry general as well. So with the eagle unit and the infantry general, he's given those 7 infantry a lot of morale. Let's have a quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. Oh my gosh, fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Make no mistake there, these troops could be battle winning cavalry with those upgrades on. Fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry, very rarely seen on a 31k battlefield. But will those fully upgraded cavalry make up for just 7 infantry? I guess we'll just have to see during the course of the battle. Those are fully upgraded cavalry and all those archers, I'm not sure if they'll make up for just 7 infantry. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Lando. Now, Lando has got 15 infantry and 5 cavalry. 15 infantry and 5 cavalry. Quickly at the upgrades on his cavalry, just gold shield, gold attack. And unusually for Lando, no archers. Okay, as a lot of you know, he usually brings a lot of archers, but no archers in this army. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Chris. Now, Chris has got 13 infantry, 5 Cretans, and 2 light cavalry units. Okay, so 13 infantry, 5 Cretans, and 2 light cavalry units. Be interesting to see how well he uses that, greases his army during the course of the battle. And our final teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's got his very old Roman army of 12 infantry and 6 cavalry. So there's our team. This should be a great battle for you to watch. And as you can see, it's fought on a custom map. Okay, and here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Crypto, who is the host of this game on this custom map. And Crypto's got 12 infantry, 3 archers, and 5 cavalry. If you notice there, he's up on the hill, but he's moving off that little hill there. As I say, it's a custom map here, so it'll be interesting to see how well we do. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman. Now, Barclayman's got 4 Sacred Band cavalry and 16 Sacred Brand spearmen. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Lake Damon. Now, Lake Damon has got 12 infantry, 2 archers, and 6 cavalry. Okay, 12 infantry, 6 cavalry, and 2 archers. Quick look at the upgrades on his archers there. And you will see he's only got the cheap Roman archers, but if you notice, they are fully upgraded. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on those archers. So it'll be interesting to see how they do during the course of the battle. Okay. And their next teammate is Brotherhood member Man 2, our newest member, and he has got 5 cavalry, an armoured cavalry general, 10 infantry, and 4 archers. Okay. A quick look at the upgrades on his infantry. If you'll notice here, he's got mixed upgrades. Some of his infantry, he's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on. Another infantry, he's just got gold shield, gold attack on. So as I say, mixed upgrades there for his infantry. As I say, he's got 10 of them. 4 archers. He's got 5 heavy cavalry and the old school armoured cavalry general. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he's got 7 upgrades and experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So that's the other team. It's got the potential to be a great battle, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I'd like to take you back 2,000 years to the year of AD 120, and to talk about the 9th Hispana Legion. Now, this legion disappeared from all records back in 120 AD. Okay, now they were, the last records they've got, they were stationed at the city of York in the north of England, and apparently there was some rebellion going on with either the Brigantes tribe or the Picts in Scotland, and the 9th were sent off to quell that rebellion. And the last record of the 9th was seeing them marching north towards Scotland, and then they seem to have disappeared off the face of the earth. Now, the popular thoughts here by historians and archaeologists is that they were probably ambushed by a superior number of tribesmen, probably up in Caledonia, which is now Scotland, by the Picts tribe. Okay, now what they think is that the whole legion, now bearing in mind that this 9th legion were battle-hardened veterans, they think that the whole legion was wiped out to a man. Now, how many battles do you know of where there's been no survivors in the losing armies? There's usually somebody gets away to be able to tell the tale of what's happened, but they believe that the whole of the 9th legion, all 5,000 men, were killed by an ambush. Now, what I would say to you is that if you think about it, I would think that those tribesmen would have stripped the bodies of those Roman troops there as like, battle prizes that they would want. So you think about that, 5,000 dead Roman troops. If they had, so that's 5,000 body armour, 5,000 helmets, 5,000 shields, 5,000 swords, and if each of those legionnaires bought 3 pilers, 15,000 pilers. But none of the 9th's equipment has ever been found. All that equipment has never been found. A helmet or shield or sword has never turned up anywhere. They've just seemed to have disappeared off the face of the earth. Now, what I'm wondering is here, I wonder if the tribes that beat them, attacked them and beat them, actually prayed to their gods in a big sacred cave somewhere. And what I'm wondering if all the equipment from the 9th were taken to a sacred cave, where the tribesmen kind of bought all that equipment there to say thank you to their gods for giving them the victory over the Roman invaders. So somewhere, maybe up in Scotland, there's a overgrown hidden cave somewhere with all the equipment of the 9th in it. Imagine that all the historians over the years, all the archaeologists have actually searched for anything to do with the 9th and they couldn't find anything. But imagine if it all boils down to a man taking his dog for a walk and just decides to take a different route from where he usually does, and all of a sudden comes across a hidden cave with the beginning of the cave overgrown, and he walks into the cave, and as his eyes get used to the darkness, all of a sudden he sees the eagle of the 9th, and as he looks even closer, he sees all the Roman equipment from that battle all in that sacred cave. Imagine that, how that would probably be one of the finds of the century if that happened. But as I say, that's just my thoughts there. And also I was going to say, the tribes of that time obviously haven't got any writing, but very often if you look at tribes around the world, big events like huge battles and other big events are passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth. And yet, you'd think that tribes beating and completely destroying a legion would be, something that would be passed down from word of mouth from generation to generation, because that would be a massive event in the tribe's history. But yet there is still no mention of that. Also, I'd just like to say, to reinforce the possibility of the legion being wiped out in Scotland, is that apparently before Hadrian built his wall, there was a report of a major disaster of a legion in the north of England. No other details given, just a major disaster there, and that disaster could well have prompted Hadrian to build his wall to keep the Picts out of England. Also, there's another thing that scholars are talking about as well, is that Rome would have felt so ashamed and embarrassed that one of its elite top fighting legions was taken out by a barbarian tribe, that they may well have said that they would strike all records about the legion being taken out by tribes, just to save their embarrassment there. So that's another thing, that the reason why they think that there might not be anything in the archives about that, is that, as I say, Rome was so ashamed at losing one of their elite legions that they just struck out any comments or any history about that legion being taken out. So that's another thought that scholars are talking about here. But as I say, if you think about the battle trophies that those barbarians would have taken, those barbarian kind of things would have taken from the dead soldiers, there should be some elements of it, like a sword found, or a pile found, or a shield found, you see. There should be something there. And also, they say word of mouth of major events being passed down from tribe to tribe, like you see in other countries. I believe in the Amazon, there's tribes there that talk about things that happened hundreds of years ago that have been passed down from word of mouth, but nothing about the 9th Legion. As I say, this mystery has been going on for 2,000 years, and until archaeologists or historians find any evidence, this is still a mystery that's still going on today. I hope you enjoy this battle. At this stage of the battle, I thought we'd talk about Lando and Conan. As we know, these are two of the most aggressive attacking players on Rome Total War. And it wouldn't surprise me if the battle kicked off on that right flank and right centre there. But I'm just thinking we don't really want to attack their position there because of that hill. Okay, Crypto's coming down from that hill, but he could move up there again if he wanted to. I think we need to kind of maybe form up here on this flat part of the map to allow the enemy to come to us so we can fight on a, as I say, completely flat part of the map, rather than attacking over there where they could possibly use that hill to their advantage. I don't know what you guys are thinking. Do you think a bit of patience here could be called for? Okay, so at this stage of the battle, as we thought here at Lando and Conan moving towards the enemy, as I say, two of the most aggressive attacking players on Rome Total War, and as I thought, over on that right flank and right centre, they will be moving towards the enemy. And of course, if they move forward, both myself and Chris will have to move forward as well to keep a continuous battle line. Okay, so as I say, maybe a bit of patience here, let the enemy come to us might be better. Okay. Over here on our left flank, you can see a lot of enemy cavalry. I think there's about 11 heavy enemy cavalry here on our left flank of Lake Daemons and Mantus. I must be aware of that as I'm over on our left flank, and we'll face that threat with my infantry and my cavalry. Meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you can see Conan moving towards that little hill. Now, probably what Conan would like to do is act really fast and move up onto that hill himself, so we've got all the downhill advantage. That may be what he'd like to do here, but the enemy may well have spotted that. And if you see, can you see Mantu now has moved his Scipii infantry all the way over here to occupy this little hill. So now, as I say, because we're moving forward rather than stand where we were and to bring the enemy troops out to a flat plain, we are now attacking, and we could be attacking uphill if we're not careful. Okay. You can see here Mantu using his old school cavalry general, and bang! He smashes into one of my forward pilot shield units there. Once again, harassing and haranguing with that unit, trying to cause disruption. But also look at all that other heavy cavalry out there ready to strike. So as I say, I must be ready for that with my infantry and my cavalry to neutralise any type of attack there. You can see Lando here throwing a couple of infantry units forward there to press those Julii archers back. But as I say, because now we're being aggressive and now we're attacking, as you can see here, we may well have to fight uphill, which is something that you don't really want to do. You can see Conan here with his archers in close formation there for more impact and more damage. And you can see here he's targeting the Scipii and Julii archer units there. Okay. With all those archers of Conan's there, those arrows are going to be coming in like rain onto those enemy archers. But of course they are replying there to him. And as I say, because he's got his archers in close formation, he could suffer a lot of casualties there. Right. So as I say here, can you see the enemy now? Mantu is up on that hill. Now, newer players from Rome Total War, you might not know this, but now because they're up on a hill, they would get a downhill infantry bonus. Okay, downhill infantry bonus. They will have, if they got cavalry up on there, they would have a downhill cavalry charge bonus. Their pilots would travel further, so they get a downhill pilot advantage. And if they had archers up on the hill, they would get a downhill archer advantage as well. So having a hill, no matter how big it is, small or large, gives them a massive advantage. And of course, Conan is quite short of infantry on this flank. He's only got 7 infantry. So the last thing that he wants to do really is to try and fight uphill against all the advantages the enemy team will have from fighting from that little hill there. As I say, there's a lot of downhill advantages here that the enemy will have, and I don't blame them for taking it. We should have stood back, I think, on the open plain and drew them forward. We decided to attack, so they're going to make the most of the ground here, and I don't blame them doing that. And that's exactly what they're doing, holding that little hill. And as I say, with all the downhill advantages, I can see the Julii cavalry looking to move over here as well. As I say, Conan probably would like to have taken that hill, so we had the downhill advantage, but Mantu saw that and has now blocked him. You can see Mantu moving even higher up onto that hill now. to get even more downhill advantage. So this is literally going to be an uphill battle if we have to attack him up there. Remember, as I say, Conan's only got 7 infantry, so I'd have thought that the chances of him trying to attack uphill would be quite small. Right, let's just pause the game for a minute here. Right, just like to draw your attention, remember that Conan's cavalry is fully upgraded. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now what I'm thinking here is, he'd like to get those couple of cavalry units that he's moved around there very slowly, hoping the enemy won't see, and maybe putting them here, in this position here. And then if he does attack those Scipio troops there, he could smash into the rear with his fully upgraded cavalry. He may well try and do a pin and hold an attack there with Lando, and then if those 2 fully upgraded cavalry units smash in behind those Scipio troops there, they may be looking to try and attack the hill like that. We'll just have to wait and see. You can see Lando moving over here a bit more to the right flank. But as I say, this is literally going to be an uphill battle now. Mantu has taken that little hill there. So do you think tactically we should have, even at this stage, maybe pull back onto a level plane and let them come to us so we're fighting on a level plane? Or do you think we should try and attack this hill? What do you think you would do? As you can see, that big downhill advantage that they've got here. Conan will know that, so he will be loath to try and attack uphill with all those advantages that they've got. I think the Carthage Sacred Band General will look to engage our Greek cities ally there. And I can see the enemy Brutiote infantry moving over there as well, so I'm probably going to relocate my SBQR army in behind my allies as like a reserve army, so I can move to wherever it's needed. But as I say here, you can see that Mantu has occupied the hill. My guess is that the enemy may even get cavalry up on top of that little hill there, which they're looking to do. And of course, once again, like we said earlier, that cavalry will have a downhill cavalry charge bonus. And so we just have to wait and see how we manage this kind of battle. But on the face of it now, in this very early stage of the battle, which way do you think this could go? Do you think that hill advantage could tip the balance here? Or do you think that our team could well be very tactical here and may take that hill? What do you think? As I say, you can see me move my SBQR infantry up behind my allies, and I've got my cavalry locked and loaded here because I think there are 9 or 10 enemy cavalry there over on our left flank, would like to strike our left flank there, so I'm going to keep my cavalry and infantry there ready to neutralize any attack there. But as I say here, you can see the enemy here up on top of their hill looking down on us. And as I say, I don't blame them taking this position, because as I say, maybe as a team we should have been, should have fallen back onto the flatter part of the map and encouraged them to come out so we could fight on an even ground. But instead of that, we wanted to be aggressive and attack this position, and that's why they've made the most of the ground they've got there. So I don't blame them there. Right, you can see the Julii cavalry charging there, and bang, as that charges in to those forward SBQR units of our allies there. Nice hit there. You can see Lake Damon here is also formed up on the hill here, looking down on us. So now we've got Mantu, Scipiote army, and that Brutiote infantry as well on that hill. How the heck are we going to shove them off that hill? Right, you can see, as I say, downhill Brutiote cavalry charge here, and then he decides to stop that attack and pull back. My guess is that Conan will target that cavalry with his archers there. You see, he's put his archers into open formation now because he was taking casualties from enemy archers. It's okay having your archers in close formation when the enemy haven't got any archers, but if you put them in close formation when the enemy have got archers, you will lose a lot of your archers there. So you can see here, as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if Conan was targeting the enemy cavalry there. And as I say, he's got his 7 infantry there, and I think he's probably going to be relying on Lando here to kind of build a bridge, if you like, between him and Lando's army, which those units have done there. Okay, if you notice, Conan was getting a little bit isolated over there, but if you notice here, Lando has now put those units to make a bridge there between the two armies, and there you can see a lot of pilots going into the enemy Brutiote infantry. Okay, whoa, look at that, it's like raining pilots onto those Brutiote infantry there. If you notice there, Lando is once again moving forward. His very aggressive instincts there always kick in during the course of a battle. And now he's going to take a lot of downhill pilots, I'm guessing, from those Scipio troops. Right, let's pause the game for a second here. So you can see Lando here, as I say, has built a bridge from his army to Conan's army there, so Conan's no longer isolated. But those bridge units there could be smashed by cavalry with their downhill cavalry charge bonus and the infantry downhill charge bonus as well. As I say, I've got my cavalry facing this way because I can see, as I say, there's 9 or 10 enemy cavalry out there ready to charge into our flank, and they would love to take out our allies' Cretan archers. So I've got my cavalry there ready to try and neutralize any attack from them. Okay, but as I say, my guess is here that the Carthage Sacred Band general will want to engage our Greek city's ally here on our left flank. He may even take Carthage Sacred Band units around the flank of our ally there. If you notice here that Chris has distributed his pikes, his spearmen, in with his allies as well to maybe neutralise any cavalry attack. But as I say, over here on our right flank, this to me looks like the real problem for us here. As you can see, as I explained to you earlier, all the downhill bonuses that they've got could make a huge difference here in the battle. Right, you can see that Brutii cavalry, as I say, making a downhill cavalry charge bonus count, and bang, as they smash in to poor old Lando's infantry there. That is a major hit. As I say, I think Conan will be targeting those Brutii cavalry with his archers. You might have noticed I've moved my SBQR infantry forward there to try and support that weak part of our line. But that Brutii cavalry there just smashed one of Lando's units. As I say, Conan probably be targeting those cavalry units there, but they did what they wanted to, and as I say, routed and smashed one of Lando's infantry units there. Okay, making the most of that downhill charge bonus. Okay, but as I say, over here on our left flank, I've got my cavalry watching those Scipii and Carthaginian cavalry. You can see this one Carthaginian cavalry has attacked our allies' archers there, and bang, as I charge my cavalry into that unit, almost routed on impact. And what we're trying to do is take this unit out completely here so it can't rally. You can see the archers have been alt-attacked, and I'm smashing in with my cavalry as well. We'd like to take out this entire Sacred Band cavalry unit here so that there's none left at all. And there you go, you can see no survivors at all in that unit. We wiped it out completely, so there's no chance of it rallying and coming back and attacking us again. So that was a nice combination attack there of archers and cavalry. You can see Lando has moved his cavalry over here towards the enemy Scipii and Carthaginian cavalry in a threatening manner there, with my cavalry right up behind him if needed. But as I say, the Carthage Sacred Band here are moving in on our Greek city's ally, and you can see that the enemy Julii troops there are probably throwing in lots of pilers there as well into our SBQR ally and our Greek city's ally there. Okay, so there's a general overview of the battle as it stands at the moment. And as I say, there'll be a lot of pilers here going into our Greek city's ally and into our SBQR ally as well here. Okay, but as I say, I think from the general overview here, you can see our main problem is that hill. Okay, let's just pause again for a second here. So as I say, there you got 2 armies up on that hill now that we're going to have to try and dislodge to win this battle. I see you've got my army there and Conan's 7 infantry there and his archers there, but can between us we attack that hill? Would that be worth it? Or should we just wait there and let them come to us? I'm not sure what you guys think, but I certainly don't want to attack uphill if I can possibly help it with all that downhill advantage that those 2 armies have got. Okay. Now, do you think our Greek city ally should mass his Spartans there and attack the Carthaginians? Or do you think that the way that he set out his Spartans is the best way here, kind of a bit defensive? What do you think you would do in that position there with the Greek city's army? You can see here once again that Lando's attacking credentials being shown here for everybody to see as he's pushing in against those enemy Julii troops, backed up by a couple of Greek city Spartan units as well. As I say here, really pushing in on those Julii units there. As we know, both Conan and Lando very aggressive, very attacking players there. You can see Lando throwing in a cavalry attack here, and there it goes, bang, as it smashes into those Julii infantry. Nice hit there by Lando. That was a nice aggressive hit there, but you can see that the enemy Brutii generals are throwing in some infantry units. If you notice here, I'm moving my SBQR army forward there to try and plug that little gap that was between Conan and Lando's army. But as I say, Conan's in a very difficult position here because with only 7 infantry, he's obviously not going to try and attack that hill. As I say, we've got Brutii infantry pushing in on us as well. Okay, Let's just pause the game for a second. Right, can you see my cavalry still facing back there? Still facing back there, because I could think about charging in there, but I can't do that because I can see all that enemy cavalry loitering with intent behind us. Make no mistake there, that enemy cavalry would love to have a clear run straight into the back of our engaged troops. There you can see our Greek cities ally there has put up a unit, a Spartan unit there, to try and protect against a cavalry hit. But as I say, those two enemy cavalry generals there would love to mass their cavalry there and smash into the rear of our engaged troops. They would love probably to smash through those archers and go into the rear of our engaged troops there. So both the Greek cities general and myself there are trying to guard against that with our with my cavalry and that one Spartan unit guarding his archers. Okay, so there's a general overview here. As you can see Lando charging SBQR cavalry, and again a bang as he smashes into that enemy Brutii infantry. Can you see that the Brutii general has got his general unit there in harm's way? I'm not sure that that could be a good move there, because don't forget that general there is giving morale bonus to his troops. He certainly wouldn't want that unit to be taken out. But you can see here that the Brutii general is now moving his infantry slightly downhill now. But as I say, I'm still watching that enemy cavalry in behind us here. As I say, they would love to attack into the rear of our troops here. You notice here I'm moving my SBQR infantry forward a little bit here. Let's pause the game for a second. So as I say, there's the Brutii general. That would be a great target for our cavalry and infantry. Make no mistake, I'm going to put 2 units in to attack that Brutii general, and I'm going to smash in with my cavalry as well, just to try and take that general out. He's in harm's way there. That general maybe should have been up there, or maybe a little bit closer to the action there to give general morale bonus, but putting him in the front line like that, when he's got other units that could do that, he is now vulnerable to an attack, and that's what I'm going to go for. As I say here, you can see the enemy Julii infantry backed up by their Carthage Sacred Band ally, smashing into our SBQR ally and Greek cities ally here. Okay, you can see here a lot of fresh Carthage Sacred Band, well upgraded spearmen there moving in on our Spartan ally. So as I say, there's a general overview of the battle at the moment. And as I say, you can see that a lot of the Brutii army has moved down the hill here, but most of those Scipii infantry are still there. Right, can you see Lando charging in here with his cavalry? Bang! As he smashes in there. Make no mistake, he would have been going for the Brutii general there, but you can see more Brutii infantry and that Julii cavalry charging in there. And bang! As it smashes in.
The enemy general is killed.
Okay, so we've managed to do that. I think we've managed to kill Lake Damon's Brutii general there, which is good news for us. That takes away the morale bonus, but you can see there's a counter-attack here by Julii cavalry and Brutii infantry into our SBQR ally. Okay, so we've managed to take out that general, so that's good news for us. But as I say, there's a massive counter-attack here, and bang, as that cavalry smashes in. It could make a hole there in our battle line there. That was such a massive impact there. Lando's got some infantry. As I say, you've noticed I've moved my SBQR army over there as well to try and plug that gap that could well be pushed through there. You can see that Julii cavalry is pulled back up on the hill, locked and loaded, ready for the downhill cavalry charge bonus that it will get if it attacks. Over here, just like to draw your attention to Lake Damon's Brutii cavalry. Now he well could smash into the flank of those 2 engaged Greek city units there. And there they go, they're going to smash into the flank there, and bang! Wouldn't surprise me if those Greek city units routed almost on impact, and there you go. You can see those 2 Greek city units of our allies there have now just both been routed. So our left flank, as you can see, is now in danger of possibly collapsing. Okay, you've got this cavalry in here, you've got Carthage Sacred Band units moving in here on our left flank. This Brutii cavalry could look to smash into the rear of our engaged units there, plus taking out our Greek city, archer units there. And you can still see a lot of enemy cavalry in behind us, just as I say, loitering with intent, looking for an advantage here, looking for a place to charge in. So that's why I've got my cavalry still facing them. But the main problem here, I think now, has moved from the hill, if you like, to our left flank. Looks like it could well be rolled up, which, as I say, is bad news for us. You can see that enemy Brutii cavalry there really making inroads into our Cretan archers ally there. And as I say here, another attack by Lando's cavalry, and bang! As he smashes into that engaged Brutii infantry. Nice hit there from him. That was a really nice hit. You can see here, I'm charging my cavalry in there to try and neutralise that Brutii cavalry that was coming around our flank. I'd like to try and take out all those Brutii cavalry units if I could, here. But I need to get back as well, because I'm a bit worried the enemy could be attacking my allies. Right, can you see the enemy Scipii general? He was waiting for my attention to be taken away, and he's going to charge into Conan's cavalry and infantry, and there he goes, and bang! But Conan spotted it just in time and turned his infantry, some of his infantry units and cavalry units to counter that. So this is going to be a major battle here. Remember, Conan's cavalry is fully upgraded, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, plus he's throwing in infantry there. Now what I'm going to try and do is take my cavalry from the other flank, where I've routed a lot of those Brutii cavalry over to the other flank to help there. But you can see there's still a couple of Brutii cavalry units left. Okay, and over here you can see that several of our SBQR allies' infantry has been routed as they're fighting both Carthage and Scipii here. And you can see another downhill Julii cavalry charge into my infantry here, with all that downhill, as I say, cavalry charge bonus that he'll be getting there for all 6 units. Okay, so there's a general overview of the battle as it stands at the moment. Now look at that Julii cavalry with that downhill charge bonus there, and bang, it smashes in to my infantry, making deep inroads into my infantry formation there. That's what a downhill advantage can give you. And look at the penetration into my infantry there. It was a nice hit there by Crypto with his cavalry. Okay, as you see, I've charged my cavalry over here to this other flank now to try and help Conan against the enemy Scipii cavalry there. And we've managed, but I think Conan managed to rout him before I even got over there. So there's a general overview of the battle as it stands at the moment. I'm going to throw some infantry units in there to try and neutralise those Brutii infantry. Okay, right, you can see here I'm being attacked by that Carthage Sacred Band, and bang, as those 3 Carthage Sacred Band units hit my Praetorian cavalry. Okay, they hit my Praetorian cavalry in the flank, but I'm now turning my cavalry to face them. And if you look closely now, you'll see that we both alt-attacked. Can you see my troops are using their heavy swords, and the Carthaginians are using their heavy swords instead of the light lances. Okay, so we both alt-attacked. I'd like to take out those Carthage Sacred Band cavalry, which I've done, which I'm very pleased about there. We've taken out those. They were waiting in the rear there to hit us when they could. Meanwhile here, I'm facing both Brutii. It's paused again for a second. Both Brutii and Carthage Sacred Band. And they found a gap between my Greek ally and myself, and they're pushing units through that gap. Scipii troops could join in that gap as well. So as I say, things not looking very good there for us. They could, as I say, put a wedge of infantry in there between myself and my allies. As I say, Lando's got his cavalry locked and loaded. And as I say, Conan here, he's been hampered, I think, with only having 7 infantry in doing what he'd like to do. It's probably to engage those enemy on the hill there, possibly. But as I say here, you can see a lot of enemy inroads here, a lot of Scipii troops attacking. You can see Julii troops and Carthage Sacred Band pushing in on us as well. Right, can you see a joint cavalry attack here by Lando and myself on those Brutii infantry that have penetrated our line, and bang, as we smash in there. I'd like to take out those infantry if we could, and it looks like between us we've taken out a heck of a lot of those infiltrating infantry that got through our battle line there, that gap in our battle line. If you notice, I've thrown a couple of infantry units into the fray as well. Okay, bad news for us. Our Greek city's general's just been taken out. Crypto's got his cavalry there. Just like to show you a great tactical move here by Crypto. Can you see he's got a couple of infantry units as well as his cavalry. So if we try and attack his cavalry with our cavalry, we're going to come up against 2 of his infantry units as well. So that's a nice move there by Crypto. You can see Mantu Scipii cavalry, what he's got left here is trying to cause mischief here by attacking some of our units. But here is, I think, a major concern for us, because you can see the enemy Julii and Carthage Sacred Band. I can see them punching a hole there through what's left of our infantry. Okay, I can see that, and then I can see our whole left flank collapsing there. Can you see that as well? What do you think? Meanwhile here, my SBQR troops are facing those Scipii infantry there. As I say, they're charging downhill onto my SBQR troops there. Okay, so as I say here, things not looking very good for our team at the moment, I don't think, as I'm sure a lot of you watching this would think as well. Okay, You can see enemy Julii and Carthage Sacred Band have broken through here, broken through our battle line. Right, can you see this Julii cavalry in coordination with infantry there charging into our troops, and bang! Aims for our allies' general, and it has routed him. So we're now counter-attacking with our cavalry here. You can see my cavalry and Lando's cavalry, bang and bang into that Julii cavalry there. But if you notice here, as I say, Crypto did a good move there. He's brought infantry into the fray as well. Alright, just pause the game for a second here. So, okay, I'm thinking Lando's going to take that cavalry unit around there to smash into the rear of those Julii cavalry. I've got all my cavalry here now fighting those Julii cavalry there. You can see we both alt-attacked using our heavy swords instead of our light lances, because our heavy swords do more damage. As I say, both of us have alt-attacked there. But Crypto doing a good move here is pulling in some of his infantry in through that battle line there, or battle line where they broke through. So we're up against infantry and cavalry there. The best thing for us to do, really, I suppose, at this stage, is to pull our cavalry back. Okay, meanwhile here you can see most of our Greek Sissy ally has been routed, and most of, well, all of our SBQ, our allies infantry that was there, has also been routed. Remember, the enemy are the red Julii, green Brutii, and the Carthage Sacred Band. Okay, so our left flank now is basically collapsed, and they will look to roll us up from left to right. Make no doubt about that. They will roll us up from left to right at this stage of the battle. I've got enemy Scipii infantry attacking my front heavily, and enemy coming in from my left flank. Meanwhile here, you can see that Conan is attacking a couple of the enemy Scipii infantry there. Now, remember that fully upgraded cavalry of Conan's we saw earlier that we said he'd probably get in behind them? Now, if he takes that cavalry up onto the hill there, he of course will then have the downhill cavalry charge bonus, and look what he could do from that hill. He could smash into the rear of those enemy Scipii troops, and this could be a battle winning move here by his cavalry. Okay, but meanwhile here our main problem is our left flank has now collapsed after a fierce battle, and they will look to roll us up from left to right, make no mistake about that. Okay, but here our SBQR cavalry here are fighting that Julii cavalry, but with that Julii infantry being thrown in as well, I think the best thing for me and Lando to do maybe is to pull our cavalry out of the fray there, because we won't win against infantry and cavalry. Plus there's a couple of Carthage Sacred Band spearmen with their anti-cavalry bonus coming over towards us as well. Okay, so as I say, best thing for us to do is pull our cavalry back at this stage. Meanwhile here you can see my infantry is taking a full brunt of a frontal attack, plus I've got enemy units coming in on the left of my battle formation as well. Okay, but you can see Julii cavalry charging into the rear of my infantry as well, and bang, as they smash in there, Lando's charging his cavalry through as well, and it looks like my general's just been taken out. But over here on our right flank here, you can see, as I say, Conan here has done a hammer and anvil attack. His infantry coming in from one side, and his cavalry come over the top of the hill and charge down into the rear of those enemy Scipii troops. Now, if he gets his infantry and cavalry, now he's taken out the enemy up on top of the hill, he can then charge down into the rear of those engaged Scipii troops. So then we will have the downhill cavalry and infantry charge bonus. So he just needs to get all his troops up here. If I can hold long enough, he can then smash into the rear of them. But I've got Julii infantry, cavalry coming in behind me. I've got Brutii infantry coming in behind me, all after my general unit, although I think my general has already been killed there. But you can see here, as I say, our left flank is completely collapsed after a fierce battle, and they are now looking to roll us up from left to right. Can Conan get up on that hill and counterattack the rear of that enemy, those enemy troops, and make the difference? Right, you can see I'm charging my cavalry in here, and bang, as it smashes in to those Julii cavalry that got in behind me there. You can see more enemy infantry coming up behind us as well. As I say, I'm pushing my cavalry into those Julii cavalry that attack the rear of my troops. But you can see a lot of enemy troops of Brutii and Julii infantry coming in behind me. But you can see Conan here trying to take the initiative here, getting on top of that hill, so he gets a maximum downhill infantry and cavalry charge bonus. That's what needs to happen here. As I say, if I can just hold long enough there for a hammer and anvil attack between Conan as the hammer and my infantry as the anvil. But you can see here I'm being assailed from, I think, 3 sides here. I've got, there's my general there and my SBQR troops being sandwiched here. I've got Julii and Brutii troops coming in behind me, as you can see there. Plus I've got Carthage Sacred Band coming in from my flank. And also I've got enemy Scipii infantry attacking my front. Okay, so my army is being attacked on 3 sides here. And as I say, Conan's probably looking to try and get as much hill advantage as he got before he charges in. But can I hold until he charges in. That's the main thing here. As I say, he's managed to get up on that hill there. The higher you get, obviously, I think the better the charge bonus that you get. So that's probably what he'd look to do here. He's now charging into the rear of some of that engaged infantry already. Right, you can see Lando here charging some cavalry down into that Julio unit. But looking at the battle now, which way do you think it's going to go? Which way do you think this battle's going to go? See Conan pulling his cavalry back, that fully upgraded cavalry. He's going to get the full downhill charge bonus here is what he's looking at. Right, let's just pause the game for a second. So, as I say, I got all those enemy troops coming in. My general unit has just been routed. Okay, so no more general bonus morale for me. And we're going to charge in there. But he must be very aware of these Carthage Sacred Band units with their big anti-cavalry bonus there. Okay, Conan, with his fully upgraded cavalry, has got to be very, very aware of those Carthage Sacred Band units, because if he hits them, he will lose a lot of his elite cavalry. And it will really blunt any cavalry charge he comes in for. Those Sacred Band units are a bit of a nuisance for Conan there, being in that particular position. Because I say, he'd love to smash into the rear of those Scipii engaged enemy troops there. Okay, so it's about patience here and positioning your cavalry. If he charges in there, as I say, with those Sacred Band units there, he could lose a lot of his cavalry. Let's pause the game for a second. You've got Lando up here that probably smash in through his own, through Conan's infantry into those Scipio troops. But those, as I say, Carthage Sacred Band units, I think, with their big anti-cavalry bonus there, could be a real problem for us. And as I say, with 3 of those Sacred Band units there, Conan's going to have to be incredibly careful how he uses his cavalry. Otherwise, as I say, he could lose a lot of them on those big anti-cavalry spear units there. Okay, so as I say, Conan really wants to charge into those engaged Scipio. Right, he's going to charge in, but look at those Carthage Sacred Band units ready for the attack. Bang, as he charges in there. He's trying to smash his way through those Carthage Sacred Band units. Remember, those Sacred Band units got good upgrades on, a massive anti-cavalry bonus. And my guess is he could have lost a lot of his cavalry on those spears. If we look closely here, you can see he's still trying to charge cavalry through those couple double banked, if you like, of Carthage Sacred Band units there, his fully upgraded cavalry. Okay, he tried there to smash into the rear of those enemy Scipio troops, but look at the cavalry that he lost there. If you look at that line of SBQR cavalry, fully upgraded cavalry, see, they've just been lost on those Carthage Sacred Band spears there. Okay, so it's a bit unfortunate there for Conan there. Lost his fully upgraded, a lot of his fully upgraded cavalry on there. So that would have really blunted his cavalry attack. It would take the sting out of that cavalry attack there. Those Sacred Band units would have done. Okay, you can see some of Chris's Greek city units have rallied, but their morale will be low because they're rallied units here. But as I say, remember, we are the SBQR and Greek cities here. The enemy are Carthage, Julii and Brutii. Okay, so you can see there them charging in. You can see Chris coming in behind those enemy troops there with his rallied units. Bang, as he charged in those light cavalry unit there. Now look at Conan's cavalry. That's all he's got left now of his fully upgraded cavalry, because you can see with the big line of his cavalry were taken out by those Sacred Band spearmen there. So you see Man 2 moving infantry up towards Conan's cavalry as well. So you can see here a lot of our troops there are being engulfed, if you like, by enemy troops. You can see Conan there, once again fighting one of the Brutii infantry units. You can see a couple of enemy Scipio units moving up towards them there. But here you can see that the enemy, I think the Sacred Band spearmen here are probably doing the damage to us here. You can see Lake Damon, look, nice tactical move here. He's probably going to get those infantry in behind our infantry there to attack the rear of our troops. That's a nice move there by Lake Damon. Let's say you can charge into the rear of our troops there. We've got our Greek city ally there with his rallied units trying to fight the Carthage Sacred Band units here. Okay, so I think Conan's general unit's just been routed there. AR fought down to 7 men, so that's the last of our morale bonus generals have now been taken out. And as I say, I think the most damage here is the Carthage Sacred Band seem to be doing a lot of damage to us here, as well as the Brutii and Julii troops as well, pushing in on us. But as I say here, I think looking at the overall battle picture here, I think that the enemy team look like they may well go on to win the battle here.
No more stomach for this fight.
See here, you can see we've got some of our SBQ infantry still fighting there, but that Carthage Sacred Band with their spears pushing in on us there. They've still got, if you notice here, can you see, they've still got the Julii and Carthage generals morale bonus there. So they've still got, as I say, Julii and Carthage general bonus there for their troops, where we've lost all our morale bonus. And you can see a few of our remaining SBQ troops are just being routed there by the enemy troops. So I think it looks like the other team has gone on to win the battle. So well done to them. Really well played by the other team. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second to have a look at how intense the fighting was. You can see that if you look over the battlefield, you can see where there's little battles here. I think that's where we took out most of Man 2's cavalry there. You can see most of the Scipii cavalry dead there, and there as well. And over here you can see where we took on the Julii cavalry, and over here you can see where my SBQR cavalry took on those Sacred Band cavalry there. And if you move over to the left flank, you can see a lot of Spartan dead here. That's where those two lines were taken out by the Brutii cavalry. And as we move further into the battle here, you can see the intensity by just the dead laying here. You can see here right the way up to the hill, the dead here. And then just at the foot of the hill, I think you can see where the most intense fighting was, all the way up the battle line there. As I say, you can see here, this is where the most intense part of the battle was, at the foot of the hill here, where our team, I thought, did quite good. But as I say here, well done to the enemy team. I thought they played extremely well. They made the most of the ground, and I don't blame them for doing that, because maybe we shouldn't have attacked and maybe stood back and let them come to us on the flat plain there. So well done to the enemy team, well played. Now I'm just thinking, do you think this will be a close battle, or do you think this will be an average battle? Which way do you think it's going to go? You can see that even at this stage of the battle, Crypto still got archers left, shooting arrows into the rear, fire arrows into the rear of our engaged Scipii troops there. Two of Conan's units left there, I think, 2 or 3 of his units left. All my army's been taken out, and as you can see here, I think that's the last of Conan's infantry there. So there might be an archer unit left, or a couple of archer units left there. They're being attacked. There you are, and Conan's just admitted defeat. So really well played to everybody in the game there, and well done to the enemy team there. Well played. Let's pause the game for a second here. Just have a look at the casualty here now for the Brutii team. Look, 1 missile unit and 30 men left in that unit. Now remember, these are 82-man units, and that's all he's got left in his Brutii army. If you look at the Julii army here, 6 men in that, 16 men in that, 4 men in that, but he's kept his general back, so I'm thinking he's going to have good numbers. There you are, 51 men in his general unit, you see. So he kept that out of the battle there, still giving morale bonus. Nice move there by Crypto. You can see a lot of men left in the Carthage Sacred Band units. So as I say, it was a battle of attrition there, but I think maybe the Carthage Sacred Band tipped it possibly. Okay, so once again, really well played to the other team, and really well played to everybody in the game here. As you can see there, it was a close defeat, which I thought was quite good, bearing in mind for a while we were fighting uphill. So that's not too bad. Highest kills in the game goes to Conan's army, 1,787. Remember, he only had 7 infantry in his army, but he got the highest kills in the game. Mostly, I'm thinking, by archers and his cavalry. Barclayman got the second highest kills in the game, 1,782, with his Carthage Sacred Band, cavalry and infantry. So well done to him as well. So to say, some good kills there. So really well played to Brotherhood member Crypto, 1,415 kills. Well done to Crypto. Well done, as I say, to Barclayman, second highest kills in the game. Well done to him with his Carthage Sacred Band. Well done to Late Damon. Possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to, but he played extremely well there. I thought it was infantry and cavalry. And well done to Brotherhood member Man 2. Really well played, guys. That was a great battle there. And just like to say, really well played to you. And just like to say, well done to Brotherhood member Lando. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to, but he was very aggressive in that battle. Well done to Conan, as I say, highest kills in the game. Well done to him, and well done to Chris with his Greek City units there. As I say, I hope you enjoyed the history, that 2,000-year-old mystery there. You see, my army didn't do that good, not very great kills there, I didn't think, for my army, but it did okay. As I say, hope you enjoyed the history, the 2,000-year-old mystery there. I hope it didn't bore you too much. The Spartan Commander saying, see you soon, and bye for now.